look like? That bitch is mad cause you
Southwest Bitty Gang, he's not had to kill him.
throwing away my stuff. Story about a girl that I know that was offered to sell her soul.
So, story time on how this kid told me that he sold his soul and literally spoke to a demon right in front of me. So I decided to go meet up with this kid at this hotel that he was having a staycation at, and he wanted to take me on a date to a movie theaters that was just down the street. This is like 42nd Street area. And when we were there, he decided to open up to me about a bunch of stuff, which I thought was really cool and made me think that he was more similar to me than he really was. So he started talking to me about, you know, spirits and different things and asking me what I believe in and do I believe in the devil and things of this nature. And I was like, well, yeah, totally. I'm Haitian. I believe in all that stuff. And then he was like, yeah, because he's like, you know, I sold my soul to the devil once, but I have it back. Then I'm like, you said what? You sold your soul to the devil? At first I was like, I don't really believe you. You should tell me how you did it because I know how you are supposed to be able to do that. So he said that pretty much his father and his older brother have both been in jail before. And when they went to jail for really bad crimes, and they all seemed to get out really early. And he couldn't really put his finger on it, but his brother would always insinuate that he made a deal with somebody. Then he goes on to talk about how he's now in jail and is supposed to be in jail for a very long time. And as he has been to jail multiple times, he felt like he just couldn't go to jail again, and it was torturous. So he said after being in a cell with a positive bunkie and somebody who was religious and helping him get out of his depression, they randomly moved him to a new cellie. And this cellie wasn't on that same vibration. So he said as he's walking to this new cellie, he's going down the hall. This hall is not only very long and dark, he says he has a really uneasy feeling. And then when he does get into the cellie, he has an Indian cellmate, and he says he just keeps staring at him and giving him all these weird vibes. He then said his cellie asked him, has he ever danced with his shadow before? And my friend said he was starting to get really creeped out with some of these questions he was asking him. So then he said while he was taking this nap, he had some strange vivid dreams and even heard whispering asking him, don't you just want to leave jail and get out of here? So after he tells me he woke up to dancing with his own shadow, I asked if we could kind of head out. I was getting a really weird vibe in the hotel room and a really weird vibe from that story. And I felt like it was best if I just didn't hear any more of it. So we were on the 10th floor and we had to go to the 5th floor to then go to the following floor. Doesn't that sound familiar to you? Sounds really similar to the elevator game. I don't know if you've heard of that, but look it up if you haven't. So we're on the elevator and we push to go to the 5th floor. Right before the door can close, somebody shoves their hand through the door. The guy leans his head really close towards this poster and starts saying, oh, Hell's Kitchen? I didn't realize we were here in hell. So we get to the 5th floor and we all get out. And this lady approaches me and she's wearing all white, like all white snow gear. And she says, hey, I'm trying to get out of here, but I can't figure out where the other elevator is. Can you show me how to get out of here? And I tell you, she held that eye contact with me so sturdy. I knew it was time for us to get the fuck. And my instincts was like, you should go home. But I was being greedy and I really wanted to see this movie. So I just decided to still go. And right when I got there, I decided I had to use the restroom. I get in the restroom. I noticed that there's feet next to me under the stall. But I swore that I didn't see any feet when I walked in because like a weirdo, I tend to look to see if other people are in there, you know, just in case I have a fart or something. I'm not going to be all embarrassed. So I'm walking down the hall back to the theater and literally I feel something behind me and I'm like, what? I was like, oh my God, I should have just took my black ass home. But you know, just to be safe, I kind of turn around to see if somebody's behind me. And I thought that was strange. And I was like, oh no, I'm just heading to my theater. He said, oh, okay. Because for some reason I thought you were looking for the exit. So that's when I was like, nah, it's time for me to get the fuck up out of here. So pretty much I did finish the movie because it would have been too awkward and I didn't want to make a scene. And after I got home, I didn't talk to him for a couple of years. The first time we spoke was in 2020 again. So he hit me up about hooking up. And, you know, recently in songs, they were talking about, you know, that demon time. So I texted my friend and I told her this story and I was like, what do you think about this? Because not only have I gone months without getting any and it would be nice to get some, I could also be literally hooking up with a demon. She said, well, test him. I said, what should I say? She said, ask him if I believe that Jesus died on the cross for us. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I told him, I'll let you give me that demon time if you let me know that you still believe in God and that Jesus died on the cross for us. And he's like, no. Okay, let me clarify some things. I recorded this last week and I just haven't posted it because I was like in my little depressive spiral. My hair ain't done. So there are some parts that I definitely should have mentioned. One, he was saying that after he got out of Rikers, when he was dancing with his own shadow, as like not aware, dancing with his own shadow, he said that he was doing a lot of fucked up things and he already went to jail for killing somebody because he beat him up so bad that he killed him, and he kept doing stuff like that. I'm not going to say too much more about that, but he was doing really messed up things which I was unaware of. And then I'm telling him, you know, how he can save himself and how he can turn to God and blah 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 blah. And as we're getting in the elevator, somebody sticks their hand in the elevator in a fucking tank top and shorts. It is snowing outside. It's like -5 degrees. And this guy keeps talking about Hell's Kitchen. I'm not paying attention because I know I said, no, he's giving me bad vibes. Them two are looking at each other, talking about hell together. And when we get out of the elevator, this lady in the white, she walks straight up to me as the guy in the shorts zoom past. She's in her winter gear. She actually looks like she's supposed to be here. She's a beautiful black woman. She's glowing. She kept mentioning to me that I'm trying to get out of here. Can you show me how to leave? She kept mentioning to leave. So for me, that was a sign, like, to me, from an angel, like, get the hell away from him. But again, I was being a dumbass and I was like, I want to see this movie and I'm not paying for it, so I'm just gonna go. And then when I was there at the movie theater, I checked the bathroom and it was empty. But then when I sat down, I saw 2 feet in the stall next to me, which I thought was fucking weird. I waited to see if the person would leave. They didn't. And so I just was like, okay, let me hurry up and wash my hands and leave because that's weird. As I'm walking, I feel like the person is walking behind me from the bathroom, but they're not. It's actually a worker, and the worker's like, hey, are you looking for an exit? Why would he say that to me, right? So I was like, okay, something's not right. So I finished the movie and I'm like, I'm done with this. 2 years later, he texts me using the phrase from that song, like, oh, like, let's pick up where we left off. I want to give you some demon time. And I'm telling a friend who I'm sitting with, like, yo, let me tell you about this kid. Yeah, you know, whatever. And she's like, no, he's definitely possessed. You need to freaking, like, test him and just ask him if he thinks Jesus died on the cross. It was just like random ass question. And the way he responded freaked me out. And honestly, I didn't really think people could sell their souls. I always thought it was like a joke. But especially this year, I'm way more enlightened. And I do really think that he sold his soul. Please go watch the girl's video she didn't have her stitches on, so I just kind of screen recorded what she had. Her friend did the same thing. She really wanted to get out of a situation, and they came to her in her dream and asked for a deal. And that's exactly what he did in jail. They came to him in a dream and he agreed to it in the dream. It's just, I didn't want it to be like 12 parts.